What's up guys, it's Will back again, and today's review is King Arthur Legend of the Sword. King Arthur Legend of the Sword is a fantasy adventure film that was directed by Guy Ritchie and is loosely based on the Arthurian legends. Well, this film takes place in the medieval ages and primarily follows Arthur, played by Charlie Hunnam. Arthur is an orphan who was raised in a brothel after he was separated from his parents when he was just a young child, but little does Arthur know that he's actually the true-born son of the previous king and rightful heir to the throne. Arthur's father, Uther, played by Bana, was murdered by his trusted friend Vortigern, played by Jude Law, who has since taken the throne for himself and rules as a true dictator would. The evil Vortigern knows that Uther's son is the only true threat to his seat on the throne, so he seeks to find him and kill him before he can threaten his kingship. But what Vortigern didn't account for is that Arthur, as the true-born son of Uther, has the power to wield the mighty sword referred to as Excalibur, which through the power of magic allows Arthur to pull off amazing feats. And the rest of the film is spent watching Arthur learn and grow as he attempts to take down the evil Vortigern and restore his homeland to its former glory. Okay, so I'm not sure many moviegoers were expecting too much out of this one. I saw the trailers multiple times and I always thought it had a very small chance of actually being a good film. I hope that at the very least it would be a fun and entertaining one, similar to a Transformers film where the action is good enough to carry the lackluster story and characters, but the final product is really not so great. And I think that's what this King Arthur film tries to deliver to you. The action is certainly not Transformers level good or exciting, but it is fantastical enough to at least keep you entertained for the most part. However, I will say that the action isn't always so great, and this inconsistency in the foundation really does not bode well for the other elements, which are mostly pretty awful. There's a big opening battle scene in the opening moments of the film that, while brief, looks amazing and really gets you excited for other big epic fantasy battles to come, but sadly you never get anything else of this quality or scale at any point in this film ever again. A lot of the CGI looks like it came straight out of a video game, and that really is a true immersion killer because the way the characters move and fight just looks incredibly fake. What started out promising ends up not so much. You're probably wondering, how is Charlie Hunnam? Because he seems to be a pretty polarizing actor nowadays, and honestly he's good. He's not what's wrong with this movie. If anything, he's a bright spot because I actually found him to be a very compelling and interesting Arthur. He's witty, he's incredibly strong, and he's actually pretty damn likable. Sadly, you can't say any of those things about his co-stars. There's not another character in this entire movie that you're gonna remember basically anything about besides Vortigern and how you hate him. All of the supporting characters lack any sort of development or even an identity really, and they're sort of crammed into this story to give Arthur some friends. But the problem is that these supporting characters are given lots of combined screen time, and it just feels wasted because they aren't interesting and they don't really ever do much that's all that valuable. Well, I guess the mage played by Àstrid Bergès-Frisbey did some cool stuff, but that's it. I definitely just butchered her name though. And man, the pacing, I mean, it's a disaster. There's so many extremely important details that are just sped through as if you were at home fast forwarding your Blu-ray player to get to the action. I'm not sure whether the studio got involved or whether this was Guy Ritchie's vision, but there just are too many montages that compress important moments and events, and it would feel like short upbeat music videos. That time that you need to spend with the characters in order to understand them and their motivations, you just don't get because it's all zoomed right through in order to keep the overall runtime down. There's just so much lore stuffed into this film, and due to this, there's no downtime to spend with the characters. So when it comes to Jude Law, I think he does his best in this film. The role just feels bad, the performance doesn't. Like, you're not gonna be sitting there thinking, wow, Jude Law really sucks in this movie. It's just his character that's written pretty poorly. You spend a lot of time with Vortigern and he's just never that interesting. I mean, yeah, he's greedy and evil, but there's nothing special about him. He just does things, and the implication is that he's cruel and power hungry, but why is he that way? There's no legitimate exploration into why Vortigern is evil like he is, so as a result, he's a bland, forgettable villain. But overall, I wanted to like King Arthur Legend of the Sword, but it's just not a well-made film. I did think it had a likable and compelling protagonist and one really cool looking battle. Sadly, I also felt the supporting characters were all super bland, the pacing is a mess, a lot of the CGI looks like it came out of a video game, and the villain was very forgettable. I'm gonna give King Arthur Legend of the Sword a 4.5 out of 10, and definitely recommend you pass on this one in theaters unless you love the lore or Charlie Hunnam in general. So did you guys see King Arthur Legend of the Sword yet? What did you think of it? If not, let me know why not, and also let me know your favorite fantasy film of 2016 and 2017 thus far. I think if we're not counting superhero films, then mine would be The Jungle Book. I think it would fall under fantasy. That's all for now though. This is WillFoxification signing off. See you in the next review.